Join us as we sail from Texas to the Caribbean. 3 summers, 3 legs, and the biggest adventure of our lives. Previously on Don Treader. And then about 5 minutes ago, while Quinn and I were raising the sail, we were buzzed by an F-16. So they didn't say anything, didn't call us, and they haven't started shooting at us yet, so I'm taking that as a good sign. See this very often. Beautiful sunset behind us, and if we turn 180 degrees, a beautiful moonrise in front of us. And you know, the other thing you hear a lot is about the pounding kind of these production boats, and you know, that too is just baloney. That's putting it nicely. This is pretty heavenly. Today we're in the Patron Grill Marina and plan to stay for the next several days. My dad and stepmom are coming to St. Pete for a visit. The boys and I are super excited to see them and to have a bit of downtime before heading out again to Fort Myers. You can see my less than stellar review of the Patron Grill Marina in Waterway Guide Explorer. So after we tied up, I shut down the engine and I heard the bilge pump running. I waited about a minute or so and then went down below to check on things. The bilge was virtually empty, but the pump was still running, so it was obvious I had a problem. So I had my first dockside boat project even before a freaking nap.
Okay, so this is the bilge. As you can see, there are those guys out there that are, super fastidious and their bilge is perfectly clean. I ain't one of those guys.
Well, time to get busy. Oh yeah, I'm a dad. Maybe I should feed my children first. Oopsie. And this is the super dad. As we wait on the laundry, let me rewind and tell you about a couple of things we encountered on our way in. I think my favorite time at sea is sunrise, especially after a squally night. The gorgeous light and the cloud formations are just astounding out there. It's like an amazing blue canvas of floating cartoon characters in a parade. Or maybe after just a couple of hours of sleep, I was hallucinating. Who knows? So we're in the channel here coming up, and Waterway Guide had reported some shoaling. An interesting issue became apparent as we were entering the Boca Grande Cut. Waterway Guide had a caution at the entrance showing a USCG warning about shoaling. But we could also see that the markers had already been moved quite a ways east from the position shown on the Navionics charts. It was deeper water and kept us well away from the shallows, so it was no problem. I put my feedback on these markers in the Waterway Guide Explorer after we docked. Apart from that, the morning and entrance had been about as peaceful and easy as anyone could ask for.
I don't know if you remember, but about year and a half ago or so, we had problems with our diesel tank leaking diesel into the bilge, and figured out what that problem was. It was a missing screw on top of the sender. So when the tank was completely full and the fuel warmed up and it expanded, it would come out the top of that. So that's since been fixed, but that's what had caused that dirtiness below. You can also see how discolored the bilge pump was for the same reason, with just the diesel stuff in the bottom. So anyway, I'll try to clean a little bit of that out today as I'm replacing the bilge pump here. But that's probably also why it's all gunked up and not working well. So it's done well up until this point. So I'll pull this out and we'll get started on the wiring. Okay, so pretty nasty. It's definitely time to take care of this. I'll clip these things and I re-shrink wrap them. I'm using these connectors with the shrink wrap already on them. So get that done next. Okay, connection number 1 is there with the shrink wrap. You can see I cleaned the bilge out a little bit, so it's better than it was, but I'm not worried about a pristine bilge. Okay, so I'll just continue to get these connections done and we'll give it a test.
The bilge pump was back up and running. Now it was time to look into our oil pressure sending unit.
The oil pressure sending unit, or the switch here, this is for the buzzer and light at the panel to indicate low oil pressure. This is the old one. It had failed. The way I confirm that is you just run a wire from here anywhere to the block or a wrench or whatever, and if the buzzer goes off as usual, then that means that the sender's not grounding. So that's what was going on with this one. Just replace that. There's a Yanmar distributor called Mastery here in St. Petersburg. It was only like $10 for this switch, so very easy to do. I'll start it up here in a minute and see how we did. One other thing I wanted to show you here is a very cool little tool I came across. It's a set of these things. They're just wrench ends with a ratchet, and for little spots like this, they are, just perfect. So you just, drop that on, and then get your socket set. I'm sorry, your socket wrench here, and drop it in and tighten. So just a real simple way to get into really tight spots with a kind of a closed-end wrench. So pretty cool tool.
But what we didn't know was the beautiful little town and beach that lay just on the other side of this marina. The marina is located on Patron Grill Way, which is nestled in a seriously cool beachside neighborhood. Apart from the incredible uncrowded beach that you saw in the last video, the street is lined with great little shops and restaurants. First up is Shainer's Land and Sea Market, a killer little deli with groceries, a fine meat market, a huge selection of beer and wine, and wonderful takeout sandwiches, burgers, and other dishes. Then there's the tucked away jewel of an Italian restaurant called Gennaro's, right by the laundromat that Jesse was dabbing in. It's some of the best pizza, pasta, and cheese bombs you could ask for. I highly recommend this area if you're wanting some quality downtime in Florida. Sure, the marina is nothing to write home about, but the neighborhood makes all the difference. The following morning, we headed to the beautiful Tradewinds Resort where my parents have a timeshare. The place is freaking amazing, with a huge pool area / amusement park opening to a gorgeous beach with cabanas and all kinds of water activities. It was ideal for the boys after a long, hard sail. We headed up to my parents' room, and when we got there, Jesse walked straight over to the bed and fell over face first. He commented on how cool the pillow felt and then immediately was unconscious. I mean, come on, what's wrong with a cockpit seat at 0330 in a rainstorm? Not quite comfortable enough for you, dude? Quinn and I then immediately followed his lead and fell over face first as well. Man, those pillows were cool.
All right, boys, we're waiting on you. Hurry!
Crazy.
They are crazy.
Here we are in St. Pete Beach with my daddy.
I'm with gray beard.
Yeah, you look like you're with your daddy. Oh yeah! Did you lose your britches?
The next day, I took my dad over to see Don Treader for the first time. I wanted to give him a tour of the whole boat, but he had a bum knee, so he couldn't board. So I took him on a video tour instead. Now you'll notice that she's much cleaner than the last tour I gave you, but I mean, come on, it's Dad.
So this is the cockpit, Dad. And this is where we have the iPad chart plotter. And then this is our autopilot, and this is where I put the spot tracker right here. And we just hit OK when we're offshore. Compass, throttle, gear shift, and that's that mat I was telling you about for my tender feet. It's tough living with gout. All right, so I'll take you down below. Long companionway ladder. All right, so that's companionway there, and here is the galley. Kind of a nice big galley, lots of counter space. This is the cooler side of the fridge, and this is the freezer side of the fridge, which I need to work on. Ice maker that we use at the marinas. This is my cabin, the aft cabin. So it's a nice big aft cabin with a queen size bed here in the center. Then you work away around here, and this is the aft head, as you can see here. Good standing room down below here, so I can stand up straight. You do have to duck under a couple of things, but it's not bad. But this aft cabin was one of the big reasons I wanted this particular boat, because it's just super comfortable. You can see the head here, mirrors on both sides. And then this is the salon, and we have the nav table here, and that's the instrument panel, just for all the switches and stuff. Radar here, and then this is wind and depth readout, VHF radio, battery monitor, and then stereo over in this corner. And then this stuff came with the boat. Thought it was cool. Some Tibetan stuff. Jesse usually sleeps here when we're at the Marina, and then we eat here at this table. Boys' Xbox up here, tied into our wonderful entertainment center right there, which they adore. Pepper sleeps under here. Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. She hates being in the cage, but we keep her there so she doesn't get crazy. And then this is the V-berth. Quinn sleeps up here most of the time. So this is a nice kind of big roomy. That's a queen size width as well. Nice long bed, so you can really stretch out there. Storage here on both sides. Storage underneath that. Our freshwater tank is underneath this. And then this little suite also has a head that we are currently using. Hang on one second. Currently using for storage. So we primarily use the aft head and then just kind of keep our stuff that we don't need stored in here. But it's nice that, you know, both of them have showers. You can pull the faucet out here, set this seat down that you see under here, and then this has a sump drain. So you can take showers in here, whatever you need to do. So that's the interior of the boat. And then my favorite part is this guy. So that if you remember the Dawn Treader from the C.S. Lewis stories, you know, the Dawn Treader was this big dragon looking ship, and I just love that thing. Nice air conditioning, which is lovely. So that's our boat, and we sure do love her. She's been a lot of fun. Okay, see you later.
Then it was off to the beautiful St. Pete beach walk to watch the sunset and grab some dinner. South Beach Cafe. Quinn, what do you think?
It's tasty.
What did you order to drink?
Crab.
Oh, crab.
The next boat project was to be the fridge. If you remember, it started kind of going in and out on our second day offshore and needed to be repaired.
The fridge just started showing up. Looks like a weak connection for the power. It was going on and off, so I turned off the fridge.
This one actually turned out to be a very simple fix. I disconnected the controller and immediately saw that it was just a spade connector that had come loose. I plugged that back in, and we were golden. Man, I love simple fixes. The next project was to figure out why the fresh water wasn't flowing. Now, I knew it was a sediment issue because the first time it happened, I was able to blow back through the drain at the bottom of the tank and had this huge release of bubbles, and the water started flowing just as I had my aneurysm. So the water would flow for a little while and then stop, and after 4 or 5 of these aneurysms, you start thinking, maybe I should actually fix this thing. So it was time to pull off the inspection ports and do it right.
Okay, I'm opening up the water tank because I was having some blockages. And this is after 2 years after I coated the inside of the tank with the Hypocoat epoxy. Hypocoat's holding up really well. You can see that the baffles that I didn't paint are, getting the calcification on them again. But you see down there in the corner, that's the stuff that's building up. I don't know if that's the calcification sloughing off and going down there, but that is definitely causing some blockages in our freshwater system. So I'm going to drain this, leave it empty while we're gone this season. Maybe do another coat of the hypo coat on the baffles just to try to cut down on this. But the water itself is in great shape. It's just sediment either from the water, and this is tap water straight from the dock, and then we filter it at the tap. Tastes fine, smells fine. It's staying clean in here. It's just getting some settlement. So we'll try to get that worked out. But I've been pretty happy with the Hypocoat solution.
And finally, it was time to clean up the stainless with this miracle stuff I learned about from my friends Mo and Drake on Paragon. This stuff is amazing. And so are the boys who actually did all the work.
But I mean, come on, you can't do boat projects all day when you're in such a beautiful place. So it was back to the Tradewinds Resort and another day at that beautiful beach. Again? All right, go for it. You got this? That was good. Cabana, St. Petersburg. The boys are gonna go swimming. Life's pretty good. Pretty good. The next day it was off for a really special outing. My parents had set us up to dive the ginormous aquarium at Rum Fish Grill. Wow, Jesse, it's a big fish you just caught. That's pretty cool. Okay, some people snorkel in the ocean. We don't. We come to restaurants and snorkel in their aquarium. So we're about to go into that thing and swim with the fishes. What do you think, Dad?
I think you should inhale deeply.
I did not inhale with that fish. You might remember this aquarium from that show, I think called Tanked, where those two guys build these insane aquariums. Well, this was one of those, and we were going to snorkel in it.
Your new 33,500 gallon aquarium. Wow.
ordered coffee. Thanks a lot, Quinn. And Jesse is having an after-dinner smoke with his pipe. Mom, did you like yours?
I love it. I ate my whole thing. I did not have a to-go box.
I loved it. I have a to-go box. That was fantastic.
Fantastic.
Finally, after a full week of rest and relaxation with my folks in St. Pete, it was time for us to take our last offshore run for this leg down to Fort Myers. My wonderfully generous parents had shown us an incredible time in St. Petersburg. We were sad to be leaving. They met us at the dock at around 1400 on the 27th as we prepped Don Treader for our offshore run. We got everything squared away and it was time to cast off the lines and go. Now the current was kind of ripping through this little pass, pushing our bow all around, and I needed to back straight out between the pylons up to the fuel dock. So the plan was to ease back, angle the stern in toward the dock, then give it a burst of forward power to stop right at the dock and tie off. The incoming current would then push the bow nice and gently into the dock, and I'd look like a freaking pro. So as you can see here, I'm following the plan nicely. Angle in, ease off the throttle as we get the dock line, drift back toward the dock, then give it a nice burst of power. Oh crap, I'm still in reverse. Yep, I just did that. But in the end, no harm, no foul. Just a bruised ego. And my ego has no problem absorbing a few bruises.
Bye.
Anyway, we took on our fuel, said our goodbyes, and headed to sea. What a wonderful week. Thank you, Mom and Dad. You guys mean everything to us. We'll see you soon. Yeah, so this is going longer than I expected, so yeah, more inspiring words here. Still going. Okay, how about a limerick? There was an old man who sailed Pyewacket. Never mind. Good Lord, how long is this ending? Mom, put the camera down. This is embarrassing. Hey everyone! I just wanted to give you a quick message to all of our patrons.
What are our patrons?
They're the very generous people that give us money for our videos.
Okay.
Yeah, so
People give us money for these?
yeah, they
Dad,
donate
that's crazy. Why would people give us money for
Guys,
these?
because they're generous people.
Dad,
They-
that's crazy.
Yes, okay, fine. Just okay. Okay, so as I was saying, I just wanted to thank all of the patrons for being very generous and giving us money for the videos, which is a little crazy, but hey, thank you. So I want to also let you know that only on our patron page we will be providing behind the scenes videos of what we think about what we're heading into and just kind of the mindset of being out there cruising. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Just a little bit of an extra for all of our patrons. Thank you very much for your support, and look forward to seeing you the next episode. I will now untie my children.
the
right.
like and the subscribe button. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. I'll
Smash
make
that like button in the face.
Yeah, I'll make that next video if we get 10,000 likes.